So I released a build known as Captain Rafa yesterday, and it was, I mean, I really like the setup all around, but overnight I was chatting with a good pal, Chadley99. Make sure to check out his channel. He's a wonderful human being. I love him very much. And we were talking about damage formulas and everything, and we realized my damage performance on that setup could have been 10,000 times better. And what do you know? It was. So we are already talking about Captain Rafa version 2. I'm going to go over the whole setup and everything. It's pretty much the same as it was before. I'm gonna really just kind of like cook through a lot of that stuff, but in the skill tree is where it really shines. Before we get into the video, know you can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Byrdman778. Give a thumbs up on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing down below, whether it's for Rafa, Amon, Harlow, or Vex. Subscribe, become a member, and check out my maxroll.gg page. Me and some other great creators are all over there doing some fun different builds and everything. So, and also if you need like planners or resources or anything, we have all that there. First up, the one and only weapon you need is the Hot Slugger. Its legendary perk, Blazing Barrel. On kill, deal plus 30% damage for 10 seconds for a maximum of 3 stacks. This is wonderful for many different ways, for the fact that on kill isn't just for the Hot Slugger. It counts for any type of projectile or thing that you shoot from your body. So that could be, you know, using a fireworks shield. That could be using your cannons. Anything that would kill would keep that up for you. So again, view that as more of a kill skill for your entire setup versus just the Hot Slugger. But this thing is wonderful because it just one-shots all regular mobs. It does insane damage to, you know, regular bosses, and then you take that all the way to, you know, vault bosses and stuff like that. They're absolutely getting shredded by this one pump chump. Going down to our gear, Triple Bypass is literally the best rep kit in the game. You can't tell me otherwise. Heart Pump, this rep kit has 3 charges and has a 30% chance to replenish a charge on kill. Really love that for synergy with one of the specializations we use in this setup, but also for the fact that I'm able to constantly keep up some good health. We're using a throwing knife with damage amp, payload, and penetrator augment. Damage taken by impact target is increased by 15% for 5 seconds, and damage to the impacted target are automatic crits for 5 seconds. This is insane for bossing. This is insane for just regular mobs, even though you don't really need it for regular mobs. This is the, I think, ordinance of the entire game. Dancer comm. Speaking of things that are the thing of the whole game, this is literally the best comm for Rafa in the entire game. Overdrive bonuses are increased by 100%. Overdrive ends whenever Rafa's action skill ends. We love this because, again, it's giving us those massive overdrive bonuses. Also for the fact that that +1 in Soltado is really nice to have. Super Soldier. Yeah, we're not using the fireworks shield. I said fireworks shield earlier in the video. No, we're using the Super Soldier. Power play. When energy shield fills, grants an overshield. When energy shield is full, grants 25% fire rate, movement speed, and regens 1 ammo. That regen 1's ammo is absolutely insane for this setup because every time you shoot, it will refill the magazine if that energy shield is full. We really love this for our DPS, for some of the skills we're going to talk about here in a second, but also for the fact that it keeps us healthy all the freaking time. And then I'm a lucky boy and have a Jacob's legendary enhancement with Bounce Pass. Guns with Jacob license part increase the number of possible ricochets by 1, which that's wonderful. And then Sequencer, guns with Jacob license part grant consecutive critical hits a stacking plus 5% bonus damage for maximum of 8 stacks. You're able to see down in your little buff debuff bar this constantly being active. If it's at 8, that means you have that 40% damage. It's really nice, and it does not fall off, so you can hold it between area to area. Let's go into our tree. We're going heavy red. First, we're doing Peacebreaker cannons. Rafa equips shoulder-mounted Peacebreaker cannons, which fire at enemies in front of him added for a duration, dealing kinetic gun damage. And if you press your action skill again, it will end it early and partially refund your action skill cooldown. I will say keep an eye out for like comms or anything with passives for kinetic gun damage that will actively just help your damage for this setup. First and foremost, Shield Barris, Overdrive skill. Rafa gains increased shield recharge rate and improved recharge delay while Overdrive is active, 40% each. We're going to get that, you know, almost, you know, doubled to quadrupled from all the different kill skill for Overdrive, and then our Dancer comm, a lot of good stuff there. Yorga, whenever Rafa critically hits an enemy, action skill duration is restored, huge for keeping up our Overdrive. 3 points into El Valente. Rafa deals increased damage from all sources. The fuller Rafa's shields are, the greater the bonus, and then while Rafa's shields are at maximum capacity, double that bonus. Again, big reason why we like to have that shield barracks up top to constantly feed into this. We have 2 points left over to get down to our other trees, and I put that into Resiliencia for additional 14% damage reduction, which again, remember, it's an overdrive skill. It's going to get boosted again. So essentially, it's a completely filled up skill here. So it's really nice. We're going into each one of these bottom trees, but first we're going to start on the left side. 5 points in asymmetric warfare. Indirect projectiles gain increased damage. Indirect projectiles include all action skill weapons, thrown guns, and projectiles not fired from your gun. Guess what? The critical ricochets from the Jacobs part on our hot slugger make the weapon count as indirect projectiles. You want to know how I know this? Because when I put 5 points into Errant Spark, all indirect projectiles deal bonus incendiary damage. If the indirect projectile already deals that, double that bonus. Guess what? I am constantly shooting fire damage at targets. Obviously, with the setup, you're going to see there's a lot of elements, but you do always see red numbers on the target we are shooting. For some reason, those Jacobs criticals are counting as indirect projectiles. So please abuse the hell out of that. One little point into hostile acquisition just for some, quick little life steal. This one's not even that necessary because you literally are staying alive the entire time, but this is kind of my tinfoil hat, just gonna doomsday prepper, make sure if for some reason something bad happened, I was gonna be okay. And then 1 point into lateral plinking. Rafa's indirect projectiles gain a chance to ricochet 25%. Really nice for just keeping up those ricochets. In the center column, we are going to go into Vitriol. First shot fired from Rafa's fully loaded magazine deals bonus corrosive damage. Guess what? Every shot from the hot slugger is the first shot fired from his magazine. Even when it gets refilled by our super soldier, that shot still counts as the first shot. So you are constantly keeping up a bonus 55% corrosive damage. Massive. Concentrated buildup. While aiming with a gun, Rafa deals bonus shock damage. Each time Rafa deals gun damage to an enemy while aiming, gain further increased bonus shock damage until he stops aiming. Again, big reason why we like the super soldier, because we can aim down sights and constantly keep that up, meaning we are going to definitely get close to getting those max stacks of 20. And then, obviously the bonus regular shock damage is 10% and then 2.5 after that. We're going to go into El Alacrin. Enemies damaged by Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons have an increased chance to receive status effect, which is great and all, because again, we have on the beam team as our capstone. Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons are replaced with shock beam and a corrosive beam. Each beam automatically locks onto enemies in your view and may lock onto different targets. Whenever Rafa applies a status effect, gain increased action skill damage. This effect stacks. So pretty much this is great because they're not having kind of like the weird bullet spread that the double auto shot are having. These are always going to lock onto a target. It's always going to apply a status effect. They're going to increase their own damage, and then they're also just going to help you out with your damage, especially in UE5. Having those extra elements is really nice. By the way, I hadn't mentioned it yet. Instinto is our augment. Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons gain increased critical hit chance, and then whenever you activate your action skill again while they're active, causes them to gain critical hit chance and damage while also doing the action skill duration to drain faster. That's not really what we're going for here. We're more going for that kill skill. For killing an enemy causes Rafa to restore action skill duration, then while also causing the action skill duration to drain faster. But that's fine because that combo with Yurga essentially keeps those cannons up all the time, meaning that we're going to have our overdrive up all the time. In the final right side tree, we're going to do 5 points into Barrage for additional 35% splash damage while overdrive is active. Temerario is another overdrive skill. Rafa gains increased gun damage but decreases gun handling. For each stack of that, Rafa gains a stack every second overdrive is active, losing all stacks when overdrive ends. Again, massively boosting up our gun damage for us is insane, especially again with all those bonus elements that we're doing along the way. And then 1 point in Stealth Auto, kill skill double all overdrive bonuses. Absolutely insane because not only is it going to regularly double, but when we have that additional point, I believe it's quadrupling. So again, really freaking nice. When it comes to our specialization, we're going to focus on Sharpshooter, Daredevil, and Runner. In Sharpshooter, we're going to go with one shot, one kill. Kill skill, excess damage will be stored and added to your next gunshot. Really great for, a one-shot build. So essentially meaning every time you kill somebody, a little bit more is going to go to the next person. In Runner, we're doing Bullet Train. The Vault Hunter can now hit fire while sprinting and gain gun damage the faster they move. Again, giving us that Zane fantasy for, the extra speed we're getting from our overdrive ability. And then in Daredevil, now with Caffeine, reduce action skill cooldown whenever Rep Kit is activated. Again, that's that one that combos with the triple bypass, meaning that if for some reason our action skill goes down, we can get it right back up. And then I am a gun action skill damage now benefits from increases in gun damage, 50% of that. Again, just a nice compliment for our cannons, even though we're pretty much just one-shotting everything anyway. Finally, let's talk about firmware. I'm doing a 3-piece Deadeye. Gun accuracy is increased by 30%. Gun critical damage is increased by 25%. And then every critical hit grants a 15% critical damage per stack for a maximum 5 stacks for 10 seconds. Massive, massive, massive for this, again, one-shot setup. Typically, I would do 2 points to finish out in trick shot for that gun reload speed and then the gun critical damage, but I don't have that right now. I have 1 point to Gadget Ahoy, but again, you can look at your screen and see, you know, the damage I'm doing. I don't really need that additional critical hit damage. Having this additional ordnance damage has been actually pretty nice. So there you have it. That is Captain Rafa 2.0 already within like 24 hours. But like I felt like I found this and I was like, I have to redo this. I got to make sure this looks good. And yeah, it feels really good. Pushed it all the way to UE5 and it was absolutely, I mean, it was a cakewalk. I can't express to you how much of a cakewalk it was. Definitely recommend checking out this setup. Obviously, again, we don't have save files right now available in game, but you know, I will have this over on my maxroll.gg page for you to have a, you know, full breakdown and everything. Obviously, you can just go off this video as well. And again, feel free to ask any questions in the comments down below. Again, give me a like on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing down below, whether it's for Rafa, Harlow, Vex, or Amon. Subscribe and become a member, and follow me over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Byrdman778. Again, check out that Maxroll page. It helps support creators like myself, Moxie, Chadley, Abby Hour, Lewis, K6, Jolts, and Little Gas Mask. And yeah, guys, be suspecting some other builds and setups coming in the next few days or so. I've been absolutely juicing through a lot of this stuff and having an absolute blast. So yeah, thank you seriously so much for all the support. We're seeing really big jumps in the channel and everything. So I really do appreciate it. Again, hope you have a great rest of your night, day, or whatever it may be.